We released the Onewheel GT back in 2021, and at the time it had more range and more power than any other board out there. But the coolest thing about it is that it's actually connected to your app and you can update the firmware on it as time goes on. And that's exactly what's happened today. We're issuing a massive firmware update for Onewheel GT that makes it ride better than it ever has before. So a couple months ago, we developed new firmware for the Onewheel GT S-Series. That's our most premium board. And we designed some firmware with our factory pro team that improved the landing characteristics of the board if you're hitting a drop or coming off a curb. It also drastically improved how it rides through chatter or rough terrain, making sure that the rider stays stable, even through really choppy and bumpy sections. And most importantly, we introduced a brand new feature called gradient tracking. Gradient tracking has been an absolute game changer, and it gives riders the ability to actually anticipate a change in grade, whether it's uphill or downhill, and allows the nose of the board to hedge accordingly. These all have been tested in the field and widely loved features for Onewheel GT S-Series riders. Today, we're bringing those updates from the Onewheel GTS platform to the GT platform, and those updates will be available with the simple firmware upgrade. Now, we got a couple extra things too. Today, in this firmware update, you will now be able to dim your LED light bar lights. They're pretty darn bright. You'll now be able to dim them from your Onewheel app. But there's even more. Starting today, if you're ordering a Onewheel GT, the treaded tire option is now automatically upgraded to the GT Performance treaded tire. It's got thin sidewalls, a softer durometer for a really carby riding experience, and also has a lot of passive stability. So it helps out in basically every riding situation, and ultimately it's what you want to be on. But wait, there's more. This update will also feature a new torque headroom feature. Looks a little bit like this. So this is the new torque headroom feature. Now it's pretty cool. You're gonna see on your app here a line. It's green when you're not moving, and that green line tells you that you have plenty of torque headroom left available. Now, when that line turns yellow, that means that you're using up a lot of your torque headroom, that you should probably lean back and slow down a little bit. When it turns red, it means that you're using most of your torque headroom and you need to lean back and slow down immediately. Now, that line will also turn purple when you're braking, and that shows you how much braking you're using. So if that braking line is about halfway, that means that you're using half your braking and you can brake twice as hard. When that line is all the way, it means you're using all of your braking capability. So pretty cool. Now, this is a complex measurement that takes into account a number of factors, including how fast you're going, how much battery life you have left, and other factors, but it's an all-inclusive way to visualize how much torque headroom you have left. So this torque headroom reading is really useful for new riders who are really trying to understand their board better, how their board works, how their board feels, and be able to sort of visualize that through this torque headroom reading. It's also helpful for advanced riders as well. They obviously have a better sense of that already, but still, obviously, it's a nice data point. Pretty exciting feature to roll out to you all. It's actually available on GT and on GTS, and it may come into the Pint ecosystem within time. So go update your boards and get rolling with the new torque headroom feature. One note, now, we don't recommend that you get lost in your phone while you're riding. It's important to always be aware of your surroundings at all times, particularly when you're riding with speed. All right, well, that was a lot, but just to summarize, folks, huge day. So for GT owners, you got the new riding updates with chatter and with landing behavior. You got gradient tracking. Holy smokes, gradient tracking is huge. Also, for new GT owners, Performance treaded tire now ships stock, which is a amazing value. These tires, I believe, are 150 bucks sold separately. So that's huge if you're looking to get a GT. And for GT and GTS owners, you now get the torque headroom feature. So massive update here. Boards just got better. Ew. Big update, update your board. Ew.